Hello and welcome to our first YouTube channel, Conversations with Sharyn and Rosa.
I'm Sharyn.
And I am Rosa. So Sharyn and I decided that we wanted to do a YouTube channel to focus on and support the Black lesbian community because we are a part of that community. So whether you are also a part of the LGBTQ plus community or an ally, you are welcome. Everyone is welcome. Specifically, we wanted to share our stories, inform, and include things to talk to and highlight us as Black lesbian women. Two married women just doing their thing.
That's wonderful. Yes, that was the original idea. And we want to put it out right now before we go any further that Rosa and I, we are not professionals, i.e. we're not doctors, therapists, and have 7 little initials behind our name, but we are experts on our own lives.
Our stories and our experiences, we know those very, very well. So that's where our expertise lies.
Yes. But having said that, as we just came right on into the camera, you know, who are we? So we're going to give you just a little snapshot of our story. Rosa?
So as I said earlier, I am Rosa. I grew up in upstate New York, went to college in Virginia. I'm a mother of 2 teenagers, so for those of you all out there who understands what that means, pray for a sister. But so I'm a mother of 2. I am married to Sharyn, been married to her for 4 years. I've been out since 2010, all the way out. You know how that is, or can be. And yeah, I'm just loving life. I enjoy running. I run quite often. And I enjoy playing volleyball. Anything that has to do with sports, I enjoy it. And I also enjoy dressing up from time to time and putting my heels on. So.
Oh, well, I think it's a lot more to Rosa's story than that. But more will be revealed in the upcoming weeks. And I'm Sharyn, and I don't run. So, a little bit about me. I'm a native of Philadelphia. I escaped many decades ago. I left Philadelphia, went straight into the Navy, and you know, as a child, I had dreams about one day being in a very sunny place, and it was called Malibu. I must have been between 8 and 10. I didn't even know where Malibu was, but I knew the sun shined there a lot. So with that, I went into the Navy, and the only thing I asked of the Navy was put me in the sun. And after a tour elsewhere, my second tour and subsequent tours were in San Diego. So as life does, it zips right by. 22 years later, I left the Navy, had a wonderful career, and found myself in career number 2 and 3. I went straight into education and training, corporate training at the time, and did a lot of work with nonprofit organizations, and I am officially retired now. And as I say that, I think I've never been busier. But the thing is about retirement, you get to put on your plate what you want. So, as Rosa said, we've been married 4 years, and I think it's safe to say that we have an incredible story as well, you know. So like I said, we'll share a lot more, about that later. But one thing that is interesting, that we met online. And
that's going to be one of the topics, so you got to tune in for that as well.
Yeah.
But yes, we did meet online.
Yeah, so, but for us it worked. So, without going too far in that direction, you know, things have changed. The world has changed. Our lives have changed. There's so much going on that we have absolutely no control over. And, you know, as we see this happening, you know, it's not just affecting you, it's affecting your children, your family, your world, your job, and everything. And, you know, as we talk to our friends and as we hear stories and share stories, some themes are still constant. It doesn't matter. The same thing seems to be happening to everyone. The only difference is how you deal with it as opposed to the next person, how they deal with it. So some of the themes that we've been hearing, and some of the things that we wanted to talk about in the upcoming weeks are, we made a list of about 10 or 15 items, areas that we want to further examine how it affects us as black women, as black lesbians in the community, out of the community. So let's go to the list. A couple of things that'll be coming up, Rosa.
Yeah, so a couple of things we're going to be talking about. One is trust after betrayal. So healing after heartache. What does that look like? And we definitely want to hear your input on that. So when we are talking about that, please leave us a comment and let us know what you think about that. Another one is lesbian parenting. So that is me, us, and Sharon. So her kids, your kids, our kids, no kids. So wherever you fit in that era, you will understand or have some feedback for us. But definitely I'm looking forward to having a conversation with my wife with that, because really that's been a big issue in our marriage, and so we will explore that a little bit more, and she'll tell you her side.
Whoa, you gonna tell them that?
Yeah.
Who? Okay, this is just a conversation. Wow.
It's the truth. So
it's the
if
truth.
we're having a conversation, we're putting it out there, and you all have to, know that we are coming from the truth and coming from the heart. So whatever is discussed is discussed.
All right.
So another thing is dating older women, dating younger women, and what works for you. And of course, Sharon is the older woman. I'm the younger woman, just so you know. And so we'll just talk about that and just get an idea of, her view from her perspective and my view from my perspective.
Okay. And then, it just, as you can see, obviously, yes, I am the older one, and that's fine because I'm wearing 65 out. But I will say this. It is very interesting how Rosa and I both see the same world differently. I'm a baby boomer. She's not. She's a millennial.
Yes.
And very proud to be a millennial. So there are days when she literally takes my breath away. Do you actually feel that way? And there's days I'm sure I do the same to her, but somehow that we work it out and we meet in the middle, and so it is interesting. So there's other things we're going to be talking about. Themes, black lesbians, what's going on with us. One of the things we talk about very candidly is, how about this, ladies? Setting boundaries for your ex. Now, we all got an ex.
Yes.
Or two, or three. Some of y'all got a stable out there, but with no disrespect to your current partner, who you are, the person you're seeing exclusively right now, or someone you want to, how do you deal with the drama, sometimes the drama about the ex-partner? We have some friends, like the ex comes along, and she's always there for Christmas dinner, she's there for all, special holidays, and I'm like, she's almost like a very close friend of the family, and that works for some of us. On some others, we're not so lucky.
And everything is not bad. Sometimes your ex, it could be a good thing. Some of you all may be friends with your ex. Some of you all may, keep in contact with them. So, it could be a good thing too. Ex is not always a bad thing.
Right. But it depends on the situation. I've been, I hadn't said that before, but I've been gay for 50 years. 50 years. I'm an old babe.
So she got a lot of exes.
All my exes live in Texas. No, that's simply not true. Actually, they live in Southern California. But seriously, I think it's one of those things that you do have to have conversations about. What's healthy, what's good for you, or what works for you and your partner is different what works for another couple. I get that. But I do think the conversation has to be held, and some people simply do need boundaries. There's maybe one or two people who I had connected with maybe decades ago. If I saw one of them, I'd walk to the other side of the street. That's just where we're at.
And that is true, but definitely you guys have to tune in because as you can see, we have different opinions about a lot of different things. So that may be one of them. So you have to tune in and check us out when we're talking about the setting the boundaries.
Right. Another topic. This hits home with a lot of us. How about this? Meeting her family when no one wants to meet you. So that's a situation.
Absolutely.
Because some of us, even though we're out, we can be out and still not be fully accepted by our friends, our extended families, and all of that. It's when you show up for the family reunion, and they're like, "Is that your roommate?" That's not my roommate. That's your partner, and you guys have been partners for 10 to 15 years. How does your family receive your partner? How important is it to you that they receive her well? Sometimes we have wonderful relationships with our partner's family. Sometimes not so much. So
And I did get a chance to meet Sharon's family. I wasn't sure if they wanted to meet me, but everything did turn out well. So you all have to tune in and hear about that interaction. But Sharon met my family too, so
Well, but it was different. See,
kind of
saying
all good.
I'm a lifelong lesbian. Okay,
Right.
so it's not like people in my family was shocked, that I'm with a woman or been with several women or that's just who I am.
Yeah,
But
that's
at
true.
this time in life, with my closer friends and my family members, some of them had a pinch of, I think my cousin put it very well. It's like we don't know how young she is, but we know how old you are. So with that, they had concern about the age difference. We worked it out. It's all good. Me and Rosa are the ones that's in this relationship. I ain't sleeping with nobody else but her. But you know how your family thinks, because they're your family, they think they can make any kind of statement they want. So we had to work out the family situation.
So that's one of the topics coming up as well.
I'm old school. And like I said, been gay 50 years. I was in the bars in Philadelphia back in the 70s. I was 15 years old at a bar. Because in Philly, if you can walk in the bar and you got money to buy a drink, you're legal. But with that, the culture was, when I was being raised and brought into the life, was we were big on labels. Big on labels. So like I told you, I'm originally from Philadelphia. And at the time, the term was, "Is she a bulldogger?" I mean, what a, ooh.
Yeah.
That was the term then, And then we somewhere in the 70s and 80s, late 70s and 80s, we went to dyke. And then we just, so that's a label. How you deal with it? Have you ever been called a dyke? Are you comfortable with being the old school dyke? And then there were the femmes. And when I say femme, I mean FEMMMMES. So that role playing thing. But now we have the boys, BOI, from LA and everything, and then we have the pluses, the intersex, the pansexuals. It's a lot out there. The menu, when I came into the life, the menu was only 2 things on the menu. Now we got a menu that's like 8, 10, or 15 things that you may or may not want to identify with that. So the conversation we're going to be having is, how are you guys about labels? Does it bother you? Are you into it? Do you have no regard for them? Or one of my buddies said, "I don't like labels. It limits me." Everyone has their own conversation about it, and I'm okay. I'm okay with them, and I'm understanding why some people aren't. My Rosa, how do you feel about it, sweetie?
I don't particularly care for labels. I understand that sometimes you gotta label some things and some people, but I just don't think, I think labels put you in a box. But you will hear more of what I think and what Sharon thinks in upcoming weeks. So that's definitely another show. Some of the other topics that we are focusing on will be alcohol, substance abuse, physical abuse. Verbally, is that love? Is it not love? How do you look at that? So that is, especially the alcohol abuse, that's a big one in our community. And so we probably need to talk more about that and get a little bit serious about how maybe we could even go about helping.
What causes it?
And
What's
what
the current
steps to
state?
that, and some of the the things to look for to know if somebody is even going that way. So yeah, so alcohol and physical abuse, those are big ones.
Yeah, and I think, quite frankly, you might be shocked at some of the data that's reported on what's the average number of. It seems to be a predominant trend, theme in our community, more so than the average community, the norm. I don't know why that is, but we're going to talk about that a little bit more extensively. What else, Rosa?
So financial alignment. We're gonna talk
Money?
about
We're gonna talk about money?
who makes the decision. So yeah, y'all might want to tune into that one for sure.
Yeah.
Just so you know, because I know you think you know, but you don't.
Yeah, and it's different for everyone.
Yeah,
it really is. No, long before I met Rosa, this is just in my life experience. No two people have the same attitudes about money.
Absolutely. And
That's all
I've never
I
met anybody who has the same attitude as I have, and I'm sure Sharyn hasn't met anybody who has the same attitude.
Right.
But you know, how do you come, to an agreement with that, and then who does what with the knowledge that they have. So
and let me say this, please. Excuse me for interrupting, and not to negate the single lesbian out there, but if we're talking about something in couples, there's seldom do we see equal sharing of the burden, if you will. But what happens? Who takes care of your finances when you're by yourself? You do. It's simple as that. But when you do get hooked up and booked up, it's a whole different situation, because now maybe some habits that you had before, you got to change them. You got to look at forecasts, like, sweetie, we're in love right now, but where we're going to be at financially the next 3 years, the next 5, and let's not even talk about the reality that the whole economic landscape has changed dramatically in America in the last year. But I go too deep. I'll stop. What else?
No, absolutely. Because I was just getting ready to say, me coming from, just being a single mom of 2, so my money was going to different places, and so, I am actually excited about that episode. So you guys will have to definitely tune in to that. Another is dating in the age of COVID-19. So what does that look like? Are you guys Skyping now? Are you, giving out your phone number quicker so that you can, talk on the phone more? Like, what does that look like? What does dating in the age of COVID-19 looks like? I just thank goodness that we didn't have to go through the dating during this time. I mean, although 4 years ago it wasn't, too much has not changed in that big thing. But I'm sure a lot has changed since we
but
are
imagine
now.
meeting someone for the first time you have on a mask.
Yeah,
we both have on masks, and I can't even see your
smile. Is that even sexy? Like, wearing a mask? I mean, for me, I love my smile. So to be able to date somebody and meet them in the time of COVID-19 where I have to have a mask on, that would kind of dimmer my little sex appeal. So but you all definitely, once we have that conversation, tell us if you are dating and what you're doing during that time. That's definitely something interesting. I'd be interested in knowing.
And speaking of dating, and this piggyback on what you were saying, sweetheart, it was how about recent popular dating sites for lesbians? That landscape has changed as well. And back in the day, it seemed, I remember when I was still dating, long before Rosa, it was interesting. Some of the dating sites, I just found it a little rough. Some of the women, most of the women, looked like they had been in jail, should be in jail, or just left jail. It was a certain look that some of them had, just too many of them had. It just was not that appealing to me. Then I'm looking at some sites, some of the women, I'm talking about sisters, some of them look like they just left the porn business. And and I'm like, what happened to the regular school teacher?
Way too much.
So things are definitely, last time I was out and internet dating, and like I said before, I was met Rosa. It was I was disappointed. Overall, I was disappointed. I had some success with it, but not as much as I wanted to. So it was an interesting way to meet some interesting people. And remember, when you're internet dating, people will can send you a picture that's 15 years old.
Absolutely.
And you see them, you almost can't recognize them.
15 years ago and 50 pounds lighter. And
Yeah.
you're looking for that person to walk through.
And the full head of hair as
same
opposed to
person.
no hair. It's an easy way for people who are not totally honest to hide. But we're going to be, I'm looking forward to that episode as well. So.
Yeah, because I got a lot of things to say about the whole dating site
Yeah.
thing.
So, those are just some of the topics that we're going to be talking about, and we're going to be asking for your feedback, because as you see the YouTube show, when you tune into Sharyn and Rosa, Conversations with Sharyn and Rosa, at the end, there's a place for you to provide us your feedback. It's just like, you guys crazy, or learn something today, no value added, as opposed to looking forward to next week's show. So keep that in mind. If you have some suggestions for some specific topics that you would like to talk about, or that you think is relevant to the Black lesbian community and we haven't touched on it, we're going to touch on it, baby.
And we love to hear from you. So how would you get in contact with us? There's several ways: email, Facebook, and Instagram. So our email is SharynandRosa@gmail.com. That's Sharyn with a Y, SHARYN, and Rosa@gmail.com. You can go to our Facebook, also under Sharyn and Rosa with a Y. Or visit us on our Instagram page, and that's Team Wilbar. So that's Instagram @Team Wilbar, and definitely here on our YouTube channel. So just subscribe, make a comment at the bottom, like us, love us, or hate us, but pass it on and tell all your friends to go and subscribe.
Right. So as far as the communication piece, also to manage your expectations, we post every Wednesday, 6 p.m. Pacific time. We are in California. We are in San Diego. So do remember to give us that grace that we will be posting by 6 p.m. our time, Pacific time. Okay? Every Wednesday you should be seeing a new episode from us. And I think there's something else I think we need to cover, and that is, I don't know.
I don't think it's too much more. I just, appreciate you all tuning in, and thank you so much for tuning in, and we hope that you enjoyed meeting us. And Sharyn is the very interesting one. You all will see that. Very dramatic. I'm sort of I'm that Aries that,
dare we say, wait a minute, the fact that she said Aries kind of threw that out the window. She's an Aries, I'm a Gemini, I'm air, she's fire, so I cool out that fire, but she heats up my air. It works out.
But she's definitely the most dramatic one. So
that's true. But really,
thank you all. Thank you for tuning in, and
well, until next time, we're wishing all of you the very best
of all good things. Stay healthy and stay safe. Till next time.